I care. 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 Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good day, good evening, whatever time of day it is you're watching me. You know what to do. Tag and share, share and tag, tag and share, share and tag, tag and share. I'm a little delayed getting on this morning. Made some breakfast for Austin. A little late. Just got here, but I'm here. Tag and share, share and tag, tag and share, share and tag. We bless you for this moment, this hour, Almighty, unlimited, eternal, ubiquitous, and omnipotent God. Thank you that your will is done with us, in us, and through us. We are led down the right pathways today so that we can tap into the greatest portions of who we really are as a species, as a spirit being, as the offspring of God, as little gods. And we bless you and we thank you, Yeshua, in advance. Amen and amen. Welcome, welcome. Tag and share, share and tag. Tag and share, share and tag. Come on, talk back to me. Tag and share. Share and tag, family. Share and tag. So glad to be with you on this particular day. Oh, Lord. Okay, look like I lost connection. Let's see. Let's see here. What's going on? Testing 1 2 test test. Can you see me and hear me well? Let me know if you can see me and hear me well. Let me know if you can see me and hear me well. Let me know if you can see me and hear me well. Let me know if you can see me and hear me well. Can you see me and hear me well? Can you see me and hear me well? Thank you. Sorry, I had technical difficulties. I had to wait for the computer to reboot and all that wonderful stuff. We thank you, Yeshua, for this moment, for this time, for this opportunity, and this great empowerment that you've infused us with. In Yeshua's name. All right, let me get my laptop back up. How are you all today? Good. Yes, good morning to you and you and you and you and you and you. I'm so delighted to be with you. So let's go over it again. Tag and share, share and tag. Tag and share, share and tag. Tag and share. Share and tag. Tag and share. Share and tag. Are y'all ready this morning? Are you ready this morning? Are you ready this day? Are you ready this moment? Talk back to me. I'm getting ready to get into this teaching in a few minutes, but just let me know how you're doing. Let me know quickly how you're doing. Good morning to you, Vivian. Good morning to you, Shanzay. Good morning to you, Krissa. Those who are on Facebook, look like somebody's on you. A few people on YouTube as well. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. I have to remind you, you're made in the image and the likeness of God. That makes you the offspring of God. That makes you a divine species of being. You're not just merely a spirit, but you are a little God. Therefore, whatever you think, imagine, and speak crystallizes and hardens and manifests into substantial, tangible, constructive reality. So I have to always remind you that you are powerful. I want you to type it in the comment section. I am powerful. I want you to feel it. I want you to own it. I want you to feel it. I want you to own it. I'm going to say it again. I want you to feel it. I want you to own it. I want you to feel it. I want you to own it. And I want you to know it. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. Own that power that you possess. Own that power that you are. Own that power that you possess as a spirit being. Thank you so much, everybody, for typing in and owning your power. There are times, I know what this feels like in terms of feeling powerless, but it is only deception on our part, and sometimes through the influence of others. Nobody on here is powerless. Everybody that's watching me is powerful. And as soon as you own it and embrace this inherent power that you were born with, then you're going to begin to see yourself operate in a dynamic and most profound dimension. So I want you to be encouraged in this moment and in this hour to recognize that you are a powerful spirit being. Now let's quickly go to the text. Let's go to the text. We're going to go back. Let's see. I guess today we'll go to, let's see here. Genesis 32. Let's go to Genesis 32. Let's go to Genesis 32. I've got some more things to share with you today in brevity concerning a subject that I started with you. So we're going to Genesis 32. And then a couple of new things I'm going to introduce to you on today. Genesis 32. And we want to start at verse 22. Verse 22. We want to start at verse 22. Got it. Verse 22. Verse 22. Got all this stuff popping up on my screen as my computer is still rebooting. I'll read it from you, from what we know as the King James Version. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford of Jabbok or Yabok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. This is Jacob on his way to a reunion with his twin brother Esau. He's gathered all his family and their possessions, and he is eerily nervous about reuniting with his brother, in whom through subterfuge and trickery he had deceived him out of his, what they call, the birthright and the blessing. Verse 24, and Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said unto him, said Jacob, which in Hebrew is Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be no more Jacob or Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince thou hast power with God and with men, and has prevailed. There it is. We'll stop right there. I want to continue to talk with you today about quantum jumping or quantum shifting. Thank you for guiding us into all truth. Yeshua, it is so, and so it is. So I've been discussing with you from the last several weeks as we started this particular new year out, helping you to kind of start out the new year in a way that you may not have started before, or you may not have known that you could have started before, in the sense of, let me get this off, in the sense of recognizing that change is very much possible, and the change that can take place in your particular life can happen through various different ways, And what we are discussing here today, and what I'm discussing with you right now, of course, is how to shift your identity. Some of you all have already admitted you've already started that through some of the previous installments of this teaching. You started with affirmations, and listen, if this is your first time watching or you have not watched in a while, I want to encourage you to go back to the previous teachings over the last several weeks, where we talked about identity shifting and how to do it. We began with discussing affirmations with you. And then from affirmations, we went to discussing in joint sessions, meditation and imagining, or meditation and imagination. And in those segments, I talked about the power of meditation in shifting your identity. I talked about the power of imagination and explained to you the difference between visualizing and imagining. All these are powerful ways to shift your identity. We discussed with you the power of scripting. And then, of course, now we're in the second installment in talking about quantum leap, or the instant shift that can take place in your life. So the first 4, well, actually, variations of the first 4 can shift you can shift you progressively, can shift you gradually. Then at the same time, I say variations because it is possible through meditation and imagining to shift instantly. Matter of fact, meditation and imagining are part of the quantum leap instant shift process as well. So we'll kind of just touch on that today. So it all begins with the premise that I taught you several weeks ago, that I taught in the past year, of how thoughts manifest, And that's why I put this chart up to remind you. So when we talk about quantum jumping and quantum leaping, from a spiritual, psychological, mental, mystical, and metaphysical perspective, it's going to begin within you in terms of your thoughts. And of course, within the realm of your thoughts, it's going to be initiated by your beliefs, by whatever it is you believe. And so I always refer to this chart. Matter of fact, somebody reached out to me in recent weeks to let me know that they printed this chart out. I think I posted it in the private Facebook group, and you should join that group. I haven't been involved with it this week. I'm in the process of starting a new business, and I've been extremely busy, but I will start posting again in the private Facebook group real soon. But they printed it out, and they have it on a desk where they work so that they can constantly be reminded of the power of thoughts. Thoughts, imagination, and emotions in speech are ways that we create and ways that we manifest reality. All right. I don't want to dwell on that too long, but that is the premise of whatever it is we teach. And of course, Proverbs 23:7, as he thinketh, as a man thinketh is in his heart, so is he. Thinking determines being, thinking determines reality. And I'm going to show you a few scriptural texts today to support that. So let me get back into the quantum shifting or the quantum leaping for a few minutes. And I know this may bore some of you all. And I'm going to believe it's not going to bore you. I'm not going through all the science again. Matter of fact, I can't go through all the science because it will make many of your heads swim, talking about quantum physics and then a branch of quantum mechanics, and then a branch of quantum mechanics, which is quantum physics. And then I want to start on the rudimentary scientific level to bring you up to the mental, metaphysical, and spiritual aspects of when we talk about quantum leaping and quantum jumping, exactly what it means. Just understand that the very rudiments or the foundation or the basis of all of this being true is that you are really a spiritual being. And you're not just merely a spiritual being, you're the offspring of God. Okay, you are a little God. God is infused with you. God is a part of you. He's a part of your DNA strand, DNA structure. There's a video circulating right now on social media showing how scientists have discovered the encoding of Yahweh, YHWH, in the DNA strand. That's number one. Number two, he breathed into you himself in Genesis chapter 2. If he breathed into you himself from the spiritual and physical, he's infused it and bonded with you. So just like he think, imagines, and speaks, and things manifest, you think, imagine, and speak, and things manifest. This is the premise of all of this. You're not just merely a physical being. I want you to type in the comment section, I'm not just a physical being. I'm going to help you. I'm not just a physical being. I want you to type that in the comment section real quickly. I'm not just a physical being. You are not just a physical being. And if you continue to focus on your physicality, on your three-dimensional projections of your essence, of your true reality, then you're going to be limited and trapped within that dimension. Matter of fact, this is a matrix dimension. The three-dimensional world is a matrix dimension. The physical world is a matrix dimension. Listen to this. Listen to this. Our physicality is a projection of our spirituality. But watch this. We are also a projection of something higher and greater than ourselves. Oh, Lord, I need you to catch what I'm saying today. So everything we see in the physical world, listen to this, exists as a part of you internally. And everything we see in the physical three-dimensional world, listen to this, has come in a sense out of you, because if God is a part of you, if God is infused with you, if God is one with you, and God is the creator of all, then all of these things came out of him. They came out of him, listen to this, but yet he's within you. So yet they project out of you, they project forth from you. Let me get back to what I began to discuss, because I don't want to confuse anybody today. So the premise of quantum leaping is based on quantum physics, And without going into all my notes, just understand the difference between traditional physics and in quantum physics is traditional physics is more centered around predictability and deterministic behavior, meaning that in traditional physics, they can predict how something is going to act and how something is going to react. But in quantum physics, it's based more on randomness and unpredictability and uncertainty. And because on the subatomic level, on the quantum level, the atomic level and the subatomic level, they recognize that those particles do not operate according to the same principles we see in the physical world that traditional physics is based on. They recognize that it operates under a different set of laws unto itself. And so these sets of laws, in a sense, are higher laws, but understand this, although the atom is known in chemistry basically as the smallest particle, and molecules consist of trillions of atoms, but at the same time, cells consist of trillions of molecules, which consist of trillions of atoms. All of us on our rudimentary level, our basic fundamental level, are made of atoms. This is why this is relevant to our discussion today, because if you understand and recognize how to tap into the quantum aspect of your being, then you're able to shift it into controlling three-dimensional physical, the three-dimensional physical you and three-dimensional physical realities. You're also able to, from a mental and spiritual perspective, tap into this part of your being to accomplish extraordinary things. So, as it relates to quantum physics, let's talk a little bit about the atom, and that's why I have it up on the screen. This is just a brief chemistry lesson, and then we'll move on. But I want you to understand from a basic premise that every atom consists of course, the nucleus, and in the nucleus are protons and neutrons. Understand that protons are positive charge, neutrons are negative charge, a neutral charge, and electrons are a negative charge. You notice in the diagram that the protons and the neutrons are in the nucleus of an atom, but also recognize that the electrons orbit freely in what they call orbitals outside of the nucleus. Now, this is the premise of quantum leaping or quantum jumping from an atomic perspective. An electron has the ability to change orbits. So you can see in the innermost ring on the diagram close to the nucleus where the negative charge is shown, that is the electron. Well, what they've noticed on this subatomic level is that an electron has the ability, listen to this, to absorb a photon, which is light, that's at the exact same frequency. It absorbs the power of a photon, catch this, and is able to shift orbits, meaning that it's able to be in one place visibly, but when it absorbs a photon at the exact frequency, absorbs the power, of a photon, which is light, at the exact frequency, it disappears from one orbit and reappears in another orbit. That's called quantum jumping. A more official term is atomic electron transfer. Atomic electron transfer. Okay. All right. Let me move on from that. I hope you absorbed a little bit of that, because that is the basic premise from a scientific level, of what quantum leaping is all about. So now, what does that have to do with us? What does that have to do with us? One of the things I continually teach you is that thoughts represent reality. And that's why I continue to bring up Proverbs 23:7a, other such scriptures or other like scriptures, because I want you to really, really grasp this concept, grasp this truth. And that is, number one, thoughts manifest into reality. But number two, thoughts also are realities within you. Thoughts are realities within you. I'm going to show you a text in a few minutes that you have looked at and you have heard several times, and you've probably never considered the fact that this text is talking about something that is incredibly powerful that all of us can relate to. I want you to realize that thoughts are realities. Thoughts are realities. So I want you to type it in the comment section. Thoughts are realities. Type that. Thoughts are realities. Type that in the comment section. Thoughts are realities. Thoughts are realities. I quote from Earl Nightingale, the great teacher of the 19th century. He says, whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become reality. Then I quote from Stephen Richards, who says, reality is a projection of our thoughts or the things you habitually think about, end quote. Reality is a projection of our thoughts or the things you habitually think about. Now, what I have to share with people of faith is that your traditional presentations concerning reality have been taught from an angle or perspective that God is responsible for the creation of all realities. It is not true. It is the God in you, and it is the God that is you that is responsible for the co-creation and the co-manifestation of these realities. So listen to this. When you're sitting back in life and doing nothing, you are manifesting a reality of nothingness. You are manifesting a reality of a fruit of nothingness, all right? Because you have been taught that reality is created by somebody else. No, reality is generated and created by you and by myself. And you have permission and endorsement to do that by the one who created you in his image and his likeness, just like him. So as you think in your heart, so are you. Your thoughts are realities. So right now, as I'm talking to you, listen to this. You are not really just a summary of what other people think. You are not even really a summary of what God thinks. You're a summary of what you think. You are a summary of what you believe. Listen to this. And you are the reality that you believe that you are. Oh my goodness. I need you to hear me real clearly. I'm going to say it again. You are the reality that you believe you are. You are the reality that you believe you are. That's exactly what you are. You are no more and you are no less right now than what you already believe. You are no more and you are no less than what you already believe. And I know this is painful for people to accept. This is painful for people to understand. It was an eye-opener for me. And while we have sat back and observed and have sat back and have placed the blame on other people and have sat back and considered this and considered that, so forth and so on, and blamed other people for our issues and challenges. And listen to this, it's not that they didn't do anything to us. There were some things that were done to us. So we need to face that. That was the reality we existed. But then what we didn't understand is that through our personal interpretation and through our personal godness, okay, we had the ability to change the reality into what we wanted it to be. We had the ability to change the reality into what we wanted it to be. And I want you to understand real clearly the point that I'm making. In all of the pain that we experience in life that is real, understand that it does not end in the painful experience, or should not end as the painful experience alone. At some point in time, you and I must recognize as creators that we have the ability to interpret that pain in a negative or a positive sense, or we have the ability, listen to this, through our thoughts, through what we believe, to decide what happens next. To decide what happens next. Are you following what I'm saying? That is determined by you. That is determined by you. Listen to this. God lives his experience through us, but he's enabled you and I to have this experience, to live this experience. Come on, I need you to follow me, family. And so decision making has to be made by you. You get to choose, and decision making should be made in accord with the God that is already one with you and a part of you. You get to make the decision. You get to decide, listen to this, if I die here or if I don't die here. You get to decide if I allow this to take me out or I don't allow this to take me out. You get to make that decision. And too many times you sitting back waiting on God. Listen to this. He's not really in heaven. He's in you. Number one. Number two, you have permission. You came here to explore. You came here for purpose. You came here to create, to co-manifest. You came here to live. So you live this life and you're going to project from within what you see externally. And when I say externally, I want you to really understand when we say something is external, we sometimes explain it as if it's separate and apart from us. It's not really separate and apart from you. It is as much a part of you as the organs that exist in your own body. But you get to make a decision, okay, based on what you think and based on what you believe. And if you make that decision based on what you think and based on what you believe, then the outcomes in a negative or positive sense are yours. So listen to this. If something happened to you and you decided to quit because the pain was too great or the pain was too difficult, you made the decision to quit. So as a result of that, you're going to manifest a reality based on that choice you made to quit. Am I making any sense to anybody in here right now? I want you to hear me coming through loud and hear me coming through clear. Let's go to Matthew 5. Let me show you something. Matthew 5 and 28. 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 Type that real quickly. Matthew 5 and 28. Matthew 5 and 28. Listen to this. Listen to this. But I say unto you, listen to this, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. Now, why did I bring this text up? Because I know y'all only interpret it from one perspective, but I'm giving you a metaphysical perspective this morning. I'm giving you a different angle to consider this morning. Now, this is in red letters in your Bible. It means that Yeshua spoke it. So what is he saying? What is he saying? Well, for us, we think I've got to physically touch something in order for it to be reality. I've got to take the corresponding steps, listen to this, physically in order for it to be real. The first thing you need to take away from this, family, is that thoughts are reality. Thoughts are reality, or thoughts create reality. So I want you to type real quickly in the comment section, thinking creates reality. Thinking creates reality. Now, what is Jesus referring to? What is Yeshua referring to here? What is the Jesus Christos referring to here? He's trying to help people to understand, number one, the power of thinking, the power of the mind, and reality creation stems and starts from that place. So this is how powerful this is. Hold on to your seats, hold on to your hats, hold on to everything else. See, reality creation begins with your thinking. Within the realm of your thinking, it is determined and resolved what you believe. You have the power to think a thing, and whether you act on it or not physically, it still has metaphysical, spiritual, and physical implications. Because number one, just because you did it in your mind doesn't mean it does not exist. It does exist. It exists as a reality that you chose. That's number one. It is listen to this, it is a spirit to spirit act. It is a mind to mind act. I want you to understand that reality is not just associated with physicality. Reality is not just associated with physicality. Reality is not just associated with three-dimensional existence or three-dimensional tangible substance. Reality exists within us. Listen to this. So listen to this. On another level, every thought I think is energetic and transmits. I'm going to say it again. Every thought I think is energetic and transmits. So listen to this. The power of this is this. I may create a thought in my mind that I want to sleep with somebody. Okay. I may create a thought in my mind that I am sleeping with somebody. What you need to understand is that nobody keeps their thoughts to themselves. I'm going to say it again. Nobody keeps their thoughts to themselves. There is such thing as collective consciousness. And what I'm trying to tell you is Jesus also knew the danger of that when you think thoughts that represent reality, watch this, it's not a coincidence that if you are dreaming and lusting and desiring somebody, that you eventually end up with that somebody. You know why? Because you don't keep your thoughts to yourself. Your thoughts travel and your thoughts create. Some of you all, the reason why you are having dreams about a person is because that person is probably sleeping with you within their mind. That person is on a deeper level connected with you, intertwined with you, quantum entangled with you in a way that you don't even know. And that's why sometimes you're having thoughts about people, you're having dreams about people. What you don't understand is that they are thinking about you. Oh, I know this is taking it a little bit deeper than what y'all understand. And that's why when two people eventually come together, it falls in place because one might start thinking about the other first or vice versa. Eventually they connect in a sense of congruency and entanglement on a deeper level. It starts subconsciously and makes its way up to the conscious mind. Okay, so now you've got two people across the country thinking about each other, two people across town thinking about each other. At the time, they don't know they're thinking about each other. And when they finally start communicating, it's easy for A, B, C, D, E, and F to happen because those two people have already been thinking about each other. Watch this. So the relationship, it started within. The relationship was started in the thinking realm. The relationship creation started within. That reality already existed inwardly. And the only thing that was necessary to happen was a three-dimensional physical alignment with what already existed internally. So Jesus was saying you are able to shift first your reality of being with a person within, because he knew it led to a reality in the physical where you would then join them physically. Understand this, all connections start spiritually and mentally before they are physical. They start spiritually and mentally before they are physical. I need you to understand that the best relationships are intimate inwardly before they're intimate physically. Oh my God, I need you to catch me. And it's typically because even if a person just loves somebody, they are ruminating in their thoughts. They are relishing in their thoughts of that person. They are lavishly imagining, which is a reality creation. Come on now. And what you don't understand is that you're sending that signal, you're sending that message to that person that you're thinking about. And at some point in time, especially sensitive people like me, I sense it, I'm going to feel it, I'm going to know it. And most of the time people don't know it initially, but once it starts surfacing to your conscious mind, then sometimes it surfaces as a thought of, so-and-so. You're thinking about so-and-so in a favorable way. You're thinking about so-and-so in a good way, or so-and-so is on your mind. So-and-so is on your mind because so-and-so has been thinking about you. I need you to catch what I'm saying. They've been thinking about you. So these things happen first inwardly before they're carried out physically. They happen mentally before they're carried out physically. And listen to me real clearly. It is a reality. Now catch this. Catch this. It's a reality if you never acted on it physically that you chose not to act on physically. But it is a reality because I want you to hear me real clearly. Every thought, again, represents a reality. And it represents a reality, listen to this, in the multiverse of thousands of you. In the multiverse of thousands of you. So there are other versions of you, listen to this, that chose to follow up physically with what you were thinking mentally. So they made that decision, which created a reality path, which created a reality track. Catch this. So what I want you to understand, and I'm going to show you a few other scriptural texts, is that just because you don't act on something in the three-dimensional world doesn't mean it isn't a reality. It is a reality present in you. Watch this. And there is a version of you. I know this is too deep for some of y'all. There's a version of you that is acted out on some of these thoughts that came to your mind. My. Let me slow down here. So the last part, my sister Angie is on today. The last part of this, family, catch this, Pastor Janet, catch this. The last part of this text that I just read about looking upon a woman and lusting and committing adultery with her in her heart. The last point I'm going to make that nobody has ever made, probably before me, at least I haven't heard of, that I'm getting ready to making this teaching, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying is, listen to this. If I can imagine the woman I want to be with and leap in bed with her internally, and it's real, what if I imagine a better version of myself internally? So just like I can be with somebody sexually, why can't I be in my mind a better version of myself and it's real? So if I'm sleeping with her internally and I've already had sex, that's what Jesus is saying, then why can I not think a better version of myself and be a better version of myself? Okay, I'm waiting on y'all comments to come up. Are you making the connection? If I can see a beautiful woman on here now and imagine that I'm with her and we doing our thing, come on now, and Jesus is saying that's real, then why can't it be real that I'm thinking that I'm wealthy? That I dwell on thoughts of being wealthy, listen to this, and shift into the reality of where I'm wealthy. I know somebody's getting it. Thank you for your comments. Somebody's getting it. I'm going to say it again. If I can think that I'm making wonderful, passionate love with a woman, and Jesus said you are making wonderful, passionate love with this woman right now, then why can't I think that I am the top? Why can't I think that I'm greater? Why can't I think that I'm healed? Why can't I think that I'm whole? Why can't I think that the bill is already paid? Why can't I think that I'm already flourishing and prospering? Why can't I think that? So I can think that, let me flip it. I can think that, family, and it is that. Because that's how this works. So you're thinking because you thought it. See, Jesus is showing you, Yeshua is showing you here, your thinking is reality, whether you act on it physically or not. So that tells me not just thinking about a woman or a man, or a woman thinking about a man, come on now, whatever you think about is done. It's a reality. And you have to persist in the reality that you desire. And if you persist in the reality that you desire in your thoughts, then you are manifested physically. And I quote again from Stephen Richards, reality is a projection of our thoughts or the things you habitually think about. Do you see that principle here in Matthew 5:28? Do you see that principle here in Matthew 5:28? I know the light bulb is coming on with some of y'all. So y'all have just saw it, twisted it as something negative. No, it's an indication of a spiritual law. It's an indication of a spiritual law that when you think something, it is already reality. And I take it a little further. When you learn how to think it consistently with persistence, then it shows up in the three-dimensional world. My God, today. So what happens is that you start shifting when you consistently and persistently Dwell on the new image of yourself, the new image of you. Listen to this, the new activities, the new business success, the new book of business. Come on now. The new relationship that you desire, the new job. Come on now. Or healing and wholeness in your family, or reunification, whatever it is, or a new wardrobe. Come on now. Or a new home. When you're thinking it persistently, the principle tells us it is reality, and that reality moves from in here to out here, as we say, out here in the three-dimensional physical world. And the problem with some of us is that we didn't know that the thought was reality to begin with. We thought it was fodder. We thought that it was irrelevant, but it was relevant all the time. And had you just stayed true to what you believed, that it would have manifested. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you imagine a better you, if you take time to be clear about who you are, the best of who you are, come on now, the best of what you desire, the best of who you want to be with, and if you stay with that consistently, then things will start popping up in your physical reality to guide you to the fulfillment of what's already a reality on the inside of you. Well. Am I making any sense to anybody today? I haven't even got to Jacob yet. Let me make one more point. 1 Samuel 23. Let's go there. I took you there before, but let's go there. 1 Samuel 23, then I'm going to try, let me look at my time. I'm going to try and deal with Jacob for a few minutes. That's why I do series. 1 Samuel 23, 10 through 13. Oh, I sense this so strong. This is what I want you to type right now in the comment section. I have access to the unlimited mind of God. I want you to type this in the comment section. I have access to the unlimited mind of God. 1 Samuel 23:10, and I'm going to show you. Then said David, O Lord God of Israel, thy servant hath certainly heard that Saul seeketh to come to Keilah to destroy the city for my sake. Verse 11, he's seeking God through what they call the Urim and the Thummim. I want you to understand that David did not, he had relationship with God, but he didn't know like you and I know. He didn't have the consciousness to know that it was already one with God. So he thought he needed to use a device. And from using the device that illuminated to give an answer, that's how he communicated with God. But I want you to know that you have access to the unlimited mind of God, because God is already a part of you and God is already one with you. That means God is already in you as you are in him. You have access to that mind. And he asked God a question. He said, thy servant has certainly heard that Saul seeketh to come to Keilah to destroy the city for my sake. Verse 11, will the men of Keilah deliver me up into his hand? He asked God a question. Will the men of Keilah turn me over to Saul? And here's the reply. Here's the next one. Will Saul come down as thy servant hath heard? That's the second question. O Lord, God of Israel, I beseech thee, tell thy servant. And the Lord said, he will come down. So number one, there's a reality where Saul is coming for David. Here's verse 12. Then said David, will the men of Keilah deliver me and my men into the hand of Saul? And the Lord said, they will deliver thee up. Second reality. He's coming to Keilah, number one. Number two, when he comes to Keilah, the men of Keilah will turn you over. They're going to turn their backs on you. Look at verse 13. Then David and his men, which were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah and went whithersoever they could go. And it was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he forbade to go forth. So now what I didn't read in this text was this. Saul had decided, and David got word, Saul had decided he was going to Keilah to capture David. So now before David has this conversation with God, Saul is on his way to Keilah. So there's a reality where Saul is on his way to Keilah. Listen to this. There's a reality where Saul made his way to Keilah and captured David. There's a reality where Saul made his way to Keilah. He made it to Keilah, and the men in Keilah turned David over to Saul. How do we know this? Because God revealed it to him. I need you to catch what I'm saying here. More than one reality. Last but not least, what did David do? David didn't have to ask after that, should I leave? He didn't have to ask after that, should I go? No, because he had the power to make the decision for his own life, and he left. Which, incidentally, is another reality. I need you to catch what I'm saying, family. Understand these realities that were presented to him were based on thoughts within the realm of his thoughts. They were the choices that he made, and every choice reflected a reality. Had David stayed at Keilah, it was revealed to him the reality of his capture. But because David decided to leave, he chose a reality where he was free, and he continued to choose realities where he eventually became king. I need you to catch what I'm saying. Every decision, every thought represents a reality. It creates a reality. It contributes to reality creation. Lord have mercy. You have the power to jump lines of life, timelines of life, to jump realities of life based on a decision. Oh my goodness. My goodness. I hope somebody's catching what I'm sharing with you today. I hope somebody's understanding why I'm taking you here today. Let's go quickly back to where we were at. Genesis 32. Genesis 32. Let's go to Genesis 32. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get into this. Genesis 32. Genesis 32. I might have to start this and finish this because I don't want to go over time. Genesis 32. I sense something strong for you. I sense something strong happening here. So the thoughts shift reality. Thoughts change reality. I need you to catch that. Now catch this. Just as in that little brief presentation I showed you, that same God exists within you. That same God exists as a part of you. And that same God sees multiversionally, or multiple versions of the same you. So there was a version of David who stayed, just like there was a version of Saul who made it to Keilah. And then there was a version of David who left, just like there was a version of Saul who did not come at all. Catch that, family? There are multiple versions of you. I need you to hear me. And the version of you, listen to this, just as I showed you in Matthew 5:28, how that same principle of reality generation exists from within, with the illustration that Jesus gave us about the looking on the woman of lust, and you've already done it. Listen, when you think about something, you've already done it. When you think about something, you've already accomplished it. When you think about something, you've already manifested. You just have to persist in it. Genesis 32:22. And he arose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the. Okay, I already read that. I'm not going to read it again. Let's go down to let's go down to verse 26, verse 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. He's allegedly wrestling an angel. The hollow of Jacob's thigh that was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince thou hast power with God, with men, and hast prevailed. Now remember, last week I talked about Abraham and his name change, and I shared with you it wasn't merely a name change, it was a better version of Abraham. It was a jumping. It was Abraham jumping. Listen to this. And Abraham and Sarah, follow me. Follow me. 25 years had gone by. Abraham had experienced all kinds of things in his life since the promise had been made to him. Initially, Sarai, couldn't have any children. Abram made a child with Hagar. Y'all know the story. I shared it with you last week. And then the name change happens. From Abram, noble, to Abraham, father of a multitude. From Sarai to Sarah. Okay? After the name change, the pregnancy occurs. After the name change, the bodies are reanimated. After the name change, virility and strength occur. Why is that? Because Abram is a different person than Abraham. And Sarah is a different person than Sarah. A different version of those people. The advanced version, the better version. Come on now, the improved version was Abraham and Sarah. Catch what I'm saying today. So I know you define reality based on physicality. I know you define reality based on what you think is linear, what they call linear time, linear existence, where you think things happen in a series of events, because we have a clock that's set up like that. It moves from 1 hour to the next hour, and we think that that's what reality is. No, that's not really reality. Reality is really simultaneity, because there is no time in the spiritual and metaphysical dimensions. You and I think we have time because we have come up with devices that we call timekeepers that are supposed to mark this physical existence. But the real you isn't physical, and that's the problem. Lord have mercy on my soul. So we don't really merely just have a name change. Listen to this. We don't merely just have a change in Abram and Sarai's body. No, what we have is different versions of these people, better versions, whole versions, better versions. God saw Abraham, listen to this, and Sarah, their existence, their being, their essence, while they were Abraham and Sarah. And you say to yourself, well, why didn't he just make this version from the beginning? It was necessary for them to experience what they experienced before they were to leap, listen to this, into bodies that would manifest the promise. I need you to catch me real clearly. So their new existence was in total alignment with the promise. Abram was just a noble person, but he really wasn't the father of a multitude until he became Abraham. Sarah was this princess, but she couldn't become a mother or a princess or a fruitful person until she became Sarai. Catch what I'm saying today. It wasn't just a change of name, it was a change of being. Am I making any sense to anybody here? Talk back to me. Y'all quiet right now. Thank you. I see the hearts coming in on Facebook. Am I making any sense to anybody right now? Am I making any sense to anybody right now? And I want you to catch this. Listen to this. Moving on back to Jacob. Jacob's name means supplanter, heel grabber, or trickster. Supplanter, heel grabber, or trickster. You know why? Because when he was born, he was grabbing the heel of his twin brother Esau on the way out the room. Out the room, excuse me. Where it was a room. It was an upper room. It was an inner room. He grabbed the heel. Watch this. As a result of that, they called him Jacob, or in Hebrew, Yaakov. All right? And Esau is Yitzrah. Now watch this. From that, he got labeled as one who was trying to grab or take from somebody else. And guess what he started doing? He lived up to the definition of somebody who would try to grab or take something from somebody else. He lived up to the definition of being a little shady, of bending things a little bit, of twisting things a little bit, of doing whatever he had to do, even if it was underhanded, to get what he wanted. Did you follow that? Did you catch that? So his name means supplanter, heel grabber, trickster. Follow me, family. He lived up to that name. That's the reality that he projected. That's the reality that he manifested. Well, how do we know it? Because he came into agreement with his mother, a conspiracy with his mother, and stole the birthright and the blessing from his brother Esau. He dressed up. His mother put together some skins from hair from an animal, put it on her son. She was complicit in this. Come on now. But understand this. He's acting like the definition of the name he's given. He's acting like the character that he has already been created to be. He embodies this now. This is his being. This is his essence. This is his existential being. This is who he is. He is a heel grabber. He is a taker by any means necessary. It is now incorporated in his psychology and his spirituality to be manipulative. And he manipulates the blindness of his father to gain the blessing, to gain the birthright and the blessing that's supposed to go to the eldest, which would have been Esau. Come on, because Esau was born just right before he was born. All of that fell to him. Then he leaves on the run because Esau finds out that he's been tricked. He wants to kill him. So his mother comes together with Jacob and says, leave. I got a brother named Laman. Go there and live and find you a wife. And he flees. And I don't want to talk about it, stop at Bethel, but let's get to Laban's house. After he gets to Laban's house, he meets Laban, who is a next level trickster, who is a master trickster himself, who, number one, does not give him the woman he wants to marry at first. He ends up with Leah, not Rachel, when he worked 7 years for Rachel. Come on now. And then at the last minute, he enters into the tent, and there's a woman under the covers. That's not the woman that he worked for. This is his uncle now. And then secondly, he has to work another 7 years just to get the woman of his dreams, which is Rachel. Come on now. He finally decides, after Laban has changed his wages at least 10 times, because he is the joker. He is the master trickster. Come on now. But Laban didn't know that he was dealing with somebody who was on next level stuff. Oh my goodness. Somebody type in the comment section, next level stuff. Come on, type it in the comment section, next level stuff. Let me show you how, as we used to say when I was growing up, bad meant good, bad meant awesome, bad meant powerful, bad meant out of this world. Let me show you how bad Jacob was. Let me show you how bad Jacob was. Jacob went to bed and had a dream as to how he could trick the system, rig the system to get all the cattle he wanted, because his uncle had been tricking him so much for years. He decided it's time for me to get my stuff back. Now, understand this. Basically, if you believe God gave him the dream, then God gave him a dream. It was a dream to me that represented justice, but it was a tricky dream because he showed him how to get all his stuff back. Listen to this, by getting over on his uncle. Why is he dreaming dreams like this? Because at the core of his being, he's genius. He's genius in being able to manage and handle situations. He's genius at being able to supersede the system. He's genius at being able to come up with cunning, crafty, divisive ways, or cunning, crafty, effective ways to always bypass the system to get what he wants. I've met some folk like that, and that's why some of them end up going to jail, because they're always thinking how to do it, bypass it, so forth and so on. But this was Jacob. I'm trying to paint a picture of his character. I'm trying to paint a picture of his identity. This is how he flowed. This is how he operated. He used cunning devices and cunning strategies. Okay, he was a master thief. He was a master planner. He was a master plotter. Come on now. He was a high-class trickster, a high-class supplanter. And so he puts almond rods in the feeding trough. Y'all know the case, what the story was. He ended up being able to pick the cattle that was assigned to him. Because of the way he set it up, they produced in a way that increased what belonged to Jacob. Now, he ends up leaving his uncle with his wives and their children. And he decides he wants to fix it with Esau. And he's on his way back home. This is where we get to Genesis 32. And he sends his family ahead of him. And he lays down in a dark, lonely place. He goes to sleep. And when he's not dreaming, he's having an encounter with a spiritual being. Some believe it was God. Some believe it was an angel. Other folk believe it was him. I think it could have been either one of those people, a version of him. It could have been either one of those people. And in the process, family, of wrestling with this being that was superior in physical strength, okay, to the point that, well, I say superior, but Jacob was so determined the being couldn't shake him. So what he ended up doing was he shrunk the sinew in the hollow of his thigh that gave him a limp. Okay, because Jacob was determined, listen to this, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. Now listen to this real clearly. He had decided, family, that he was not going to let him go, listen to this, until he empowered him with something that would change his situation. Oh, family, 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 y'all need to hear me. You say, where did you get that from? When he went to sleep, he was fearful for his life. The last time he had seen his brother decades before, he had pledged to kill him if he ever saw him again. That's why he sent his wives and children ahead, hoping to soften the heart of Esau. His future was uncertain. He had just left a trickster that he out-tricked. And then he was about to face a person that he had duped and stole from. He needed a change in his life. Come on, family. He needed something to radically shift for him. And so he's holding on to this supernatural being, this supernatural God in the night. And he's saying, until you empower me with something that changes everything in my life, I'm not letting you go. And as a result, he ended up with a shift. Y'all didn't catch that. He ended up with a shift. I'm going to say it again. He ended up with a leap because he said, I'm changing your name. And remember, it's not just a change of name. It's a change of identity. It's a change of being. It's a change of spirituality. It's a change of energy. It's a change of cognitive energy. It's a change of authority. It's a change of power. It's a change of reality. He said, you're no longer Jacob, which is the supplanter. You are now Israel. Listen to this. This is powerful. This is powerful. I was sharing this with my sister, Pastor Janet. This is so powerful. I want you to understand something. I want you to hear me real clearly. The word Israel means God prevails, but it also means prince with God. But check this out, family. The word Israel, it comes from two Hebrew words combined, which means he will rule as God. Again, it comes from two Hebrew words combined together, which means he will rule as God. Oh, I hope this is not too heavy for some of y'all right now. I want you to type it in the comment section. I will rule as God. Type it in the comment section. I will rule as God. So listen to this. He moves from the supplanter and to a prevailer unto one who rules as God. Oh my God. I need to share this with you real clearly, because Jacob was at a breaking point in his life. Jacob was dealing with circumstances and situations that the old him could not handle. Jacob was dealing with a situation that the old version of himself had created. Jacob knew he could not move forward and handle this as Jacob. And he was seeking and soliciting God for something better. And the solution was no longer Jacob, but the solution was an Israel, a prevailer, a prince, one who ruled as God. I need you to catch what I'm saying. And what happened is that Jacob died in the fight. Y'all didn't catch that. Jacob died in the night because once Israel is born, a new being, a new person comes into being, a new version, a better version, an advanced version. Listen to this. He leapt from being Jacob to being Israel. Yes, there would be a shift in the anointing. Yes, there would be a shift in power. Yes, there would be a shift in kingship. Yes, there would be a shift in responsibilities. Yes, there would be a shift in essence, a shift in awareness. Come on now, a shift in integrity. Yes, there would be a shift in all those things because he is a new creature. He's a new being. He's a new species. Ooh, my God. Did you catch that, family? I need some likes and hearts here. I need you to see what I'm saying. And I want to close. I want to close by saying this to somebody who's watching me right now. That some of you all don't know or recognize that being afflicted in the hollow of a thigh that brought you a limp, or previous to that, being in a situation where you had exhausted the Jacob in you, or you had exhausted the person that you were, or you had exhausted the possibilities of who you were in the moment, and it looked like everything was over, everything was about to fall apart. Jacob thought his life was at stake. But that is the moment when, if you fix yourself on the solution, if you fix yourself on the God that is a part of you, if you fix yourself on better, if you fix yourself on the belief of a possibility that greater is before you. Come on now. And what I'm trying to say to some of y'all right now, your money is as low as it's ever been. Your love life is as tattered as it's ever been. You're having family issues. You're having vocational issues. You got car issues. You got living issues. Come on here, somebody. You got all kinds of issues going on. And it's like it had not been like this in years. And you're thinking that maybe it's over. And I'm telling you, it is over. The you that brought you to this point, that manifested all this stuff, is dying. Because out of the ashes of this struggle, out of the ashes of this internal turmoil, and out of the ashes of this grip and this grappling that you are having with divinity, you're coming out of this battle and this struggle as a new being. Hey, my God, today. And if you watch the life of Israel after that, he's poised, he's prepared. He always had favor, but he's walking in greater favor. And by the time years have advanced and he's lost his son Joseph, who ends up becoming governor, and he ends up reuniting with him, and he walks into Egypt. The governor of Egypt treated Israel like he was a ruler of God, or ruled as God. He treated him like he was a king. He treated him like he was a prevailer. He treated him like he was a prince. You know why? Because he was. And I'm telling you, this is what it takes for some of y'all to shift. You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired of trying the stuff that you've been trying and it has not worked. You got to be tired of going in that same old circle of shame, that same old circle of failure, that same old circle of trying stuff and being up and down, that same old circle of trying things and still being in poverty, trying things and it's still not working, trying stuff and you're still depressed. And you got to get to the point where you let Jacob die, the old die, the past dies, that old person that was a wonderful person but could only take you so far. It requires Israel. It requires Israel to get you to the next level. It requires you ruling as God to get to the next place. And some stuff needs to end so that the new you can begin. I'm going to say it again. Some stuff needs to end so the new you can begin. That's why that old job, that old business, sometimes that old stinking relationship, come on now, sometimes those old clothing, that old house you've been living in, that old car you've been driving, come on, it needs to die because the new you can't work there. The new you can't prosper there. Just like we needed Abraham and not Abram. Just like we needed Sarah who could ovulate and not Sarai who could not ovulate. I'm telling you now, the new you has to emerge to manifest greatness, to manifest explosion, to manifest overflow, to manifest peace and joy and happiness, to manifest elevation and heights of evolution that you've never ever experienced before in your spiritual journey and in your spiritual walk. And I'm telling you right now, hold on, hold on, hold on until a new you see a new you feel a new you embrace a new you love the new you. Come on now, you're living the life of the new you have become the new you. Listen to this. And you stop answering to the name they used to call you. They used to call you unpredictable. They used to call you lazy. They used to call you dumb. They used to call you unintelligent. They used to call you unsuccessful. They used to call you this. They used to call you that. They used to call you the other. They used to call you a failure. They used to call you an underachiever. They used to call you broke. They used to call you loveless. They used to call you too thick. Come on here. Whatever it is they used to call you, stop answering to it, because the new you is not that you. Woo! Leap! I want you to type it in capital letters with exclamation points. Leap. 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 Some of y'all have been leaping since I've been talking. And when you get off here, I want you to do like Jacob did. I want you to start dreaming of better. I want you to do like Israel did. I want you to face what you've been confronting and ask the God in you for a change. Ask the God in you to push you to the next reality. Ask the God in you to partner with you so that you can leap. And guess what happened after he became Israel? He was able to make peace with Esau. Esau forgave him. They hugged and kissed and wept on each other's shoulders. And the rest is history. And I'm telling you now, only Israel can deal with Esau. Only Israel can advance the promise and the posterity of goodness and greatness and flourishing and prosperity and success. It requires the Israel that is you. It requires the new you. My. I feel something. Glory to God. I feel something, family. I feel something. Leap. Summon it within yourself as I'm talking to you right now. See the best version of you, dressed up from head to toe. Got that sexy glow. Come on here, somebody. Carrying that briefcase or not, working from home or working from the office. Come on here. In the best relationship you ever been in. Whatever it is, see yourself living the life of that person so that you can become it. It don't have to require 10 years. It don't have to require 20 years. It can happen as soon as you embrace the new you. Can leap into it. My goodness. And I thank you for strength. I thank you for empowerment. I thank you for shifts. I thank you for greater. It is so, and so it is. Thank you, Yeshua. If you're watching me and you want to accept Yeshua into your heart as your Lord and Savior, ask him to forgive you. Come into your heart. Submit your will to him. And it is done. Stay connected to good teaching and to a good place of worship. I'm praying specifically now over many of you. Somebody reached out to me recently who wanted to move into another house. They wanted some specific guidance and instruction, and I gave it to them. They were new to these kinds of things. And within 48 hours, the person didn't even meet all the criteria. I explained to them it's not about criteria. We don't look at money anymore when we believe we are abundance and flow in abundance. It's not that it's not relevant, but we make it irrelevant because we believe that an abundance mindset, an abundance mentality is going to manifest abundance and prosperity to more than deal with the number. We went back and forth, and I shared and I imparted, and then there was agreement. And within 48 hours of submitting the application, there was approval. Did you hear what I just said? I'm telling you, you can shift and leap. I'm joining hands with you in the spirit. I'm one with you in the spirit. I'm connected to you right now by the spirit. And I'm sending you love, and I'm sending you empowerment, power, peace, and joy. And I thank you for your quantum shift, your quantum leap, your instant shift. You are loved like you've never been loved before. You're appreciated like you've never been appreciated before. You are succeeding like you never have before. You are as happy and determined as you've ever been. God, I thank you for the best versions of who we are is the one that we embody now. And it is so. And so it is. Oh my God. Am I the only one who feels this right now? Am I the only one who feels this right now? Talk to me. Tell me. What are you feeling? What are you feeling? Talk back to me, family. Talk back to me. What are you sensing in this moment? What are you feeling in this moment? What are you sensing in this moment? What do you feel in this moment? Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Some of you all have already shifted. Some of you all have already shifted. Some of you all have already shifted. Come on, let me see some likes and hearts. Talk to me. I'm about to release you. I want you to prepare yourselves to give. I know many of you all are giving and raring to give, and I thank you for that. But talk back to me real quick. Come on, how are you feeling? Somebody say, I see me better. Let me put it up. There's a better version of you that has everything you desire, Pamela Moore Selby. But it begins in you. Somebody said feeling encouragement, shifting and leaping. Wonderful, wonderful. Come on, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Where you at? How you feeling? Maybe I need to do one more teaching to show you how to get into position mentally, although we kind of discussed that with affirmations and meditation and magic. Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Let me tell you, numerous testimonies of this kind of teaching work. People decided who they were going to be. They spent time inwardly, imagining what that person that they desired to be was. And many times, instantly their behaviors change. Instantly how they handle money changed. Instantly the attitude they had changed. They went from being unprofessional to professional, went from being non-disciplined to disciplined. They shifted. And I'm telling you, after you shift, reality has to shift because the new you demands it. The new you requires it. Glory to God. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your feedback. Anybody else want to share how you're feeling in the moment? Quickly, if you have a prayer request, put it up. And I thank you for giving. Cash App, $ AG Green Ministries, Giveify, or go to aggreennow.com. Whatever you do, never stop giving. It is a principle, it is a law, and it just keeps the channel open for you. It keeps the channel open for you. God in all creation honors the law of reciprocity, the law of love in giving, the law of love in release. Seed time and harvest is about that. Seed time and harvest is just about that. And it doesn't make a difference how low my finances have become in the past. I'm going to always give. But now something is happening to shift things radically. And the same thing will happen for you, family. I love you so dearly. No prayer requests? All right. I gave some of you all some prescriptions over the last several weeks, writing some things out. Think I gave you one, Pamela. Did you do it? Think I gave you one, Krista. Did you do it? Whoever I've given you these prescriptions to, make sure you follow through with it. Some of y'all with 21 days, 31 days, whatever it was, follow through with it. And if you missed a day, get back on it and persist in it and keep it moving and keep it going. Right? It is so. And so it is. Now listen, let me say this and I'm going to move. Pamela, I sense to tell you this. I sense to tell you that it's time for you to start seeing yourself as an accomplished, settled, successful person. Accomplished, let me type that. Accomplished, settled, and successful person. Let me type that. Matter of fact, Pamela, I want to encourage you to make that an I am statement. I put it in the comments for you. Let me put it up on the screen. This is what you're going to say, Pamela. I am accomplished, settled, and successful. I am accomplished, settled, and successful. I want you to say that every day when you get up in the morning, throughout the day, and before you go to bed, because there's a new you waiting in the wings. Just like there were multiple versions of David that God saw, there's another version of Pamela. That is what I just declared and decreed, what I just acknowledged. But it can only become a part of your experience if you embrace that, because you've had situations happen in your life that have painted a picture that you're something else, painted a picture of some things that were roadblocks, that were impediments spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, sociologically in your family, and physically, Pamela. Oh my God. And when you type the I am, make sure am is in capital letters. I want you to embrace, God wants you to embrace the you that he sees, the you that exists in him, that exists as reality, that you must call and summon into your experience. And the way you call and summon her is by declaring and decreeing, thinking, declaring, and decreeing is becoming. My sense it's so strong. I'm releasing you today. I'm releasing you today. I want to thank you for sharing and your giving. If you've already given, I appreciate you. And when we get off, give. Whenever it hits you, gives. Whenever you're led to, give. I don't have to promise nothing. The return is already there. How you feeling, Pamela? Do you receive it, Pamela? Tell me how you're feeling. She said, I received that. I received that. I don't know. I just see the complexion of your life changing from this inward, this new Pamela, this new reality of Pamela. I don't know. I just see it spilling over into the material world. She says, I feel that. I see it spilling over to the material world, and some of the things that were hard before. See, it was hard for Abram and Sarah to have a baby. But once they became Abraham and Sarah, it was no issue. And I'm telling you now, there are things it's been difficult for the old you to do. But there's a new you waiting for you to just assume it, waiting for you to just become it. And it's going to be easy for that new you that you leapt into, that you leaped into, that you shifted into, to accomplish it. And it begins with you on the inside, changing all of that around. It is so, and so it is. Woo, my God. How y'all doing? I'm releasing you. How y'all doing? 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 I'm going to release you today with the shalom blessing. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing and nothing broken. It is so, family, and so it is. I'll see you soon. Love you. Your day is blessed, and you are the blessed. Somebody says I'm completely overwhelmed. Thank you, Father, for the new me. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Somebody said dimensional teaching. Wonderful. Love y'all.